Like, I love the attitude and the effort. Really good football character that's coming to life with our guys, really understanding our process, our habits, our behavior. Just a day in and day out of just watching film, doing the extra work, putting in really good days. So we're 2 days in. We're working a lot of guys in. Obviously, we got a good rotation in. We got a new transfer in from Wake Forest, Deshaun Jones, that's getting some work with us. You got, obviously, back from the spring, Damani Jackson, Zay Mincy, you got Jalen Mbakwe, then obviously Xavier Brown. So the depth chart's going to continue to settle itself over the next couple of weeks. Right now, we're just spreading out reps, getting guys prepared to play, putting the ball down and seeing who does what, and looking for consistent execution, looking for guys that can operate to the standard of the play every single play. And then, truthfully, as a coach, everybody's going to ask, Coach, who's with the ones, who's with the twos? The players are going to decide that. The film's going to really decide that. And the only way I can do it, and what I really learned throughout my history, is just put the ball down, let guys play. The players in the room know who's getting it done, and then we'll continue to work the guys and build our depth and develop the guys all the way through.
Coach Wallman kind of talked about the strides that those freshmen have made. Have you seen that? How big was the spring?
I think spring, you look at it, it's a process. It really is. Not to give you kind of coach speak, but it really is. It is really a day at a time. You look at a guy like Jalen Mbakwe, who really has been a really natural athlete coming over from high school playing quarterback. But that's different than really getting those corner reps, especially in the SEC. So time on task, the day in and day out process, the mundane daily work of taking that 6-inch step, putting that offhand jam, where my eyes are, my positioning down the field, how I finish on the ball, how I set edges. All those things we're continuing to build throughout, spring, summer, and now really kind of spring 3, which is training camp. It's the third time they've heard the information. There's a little bit of comfort and familiarity with what they're doing now, and now we're looking for production and playmaking and guys that can get it done.
How much of a luxury is it to be able to go against an offense like this that's pretty diverse and very balanced?
I think your development really comes from practice. We play against ourselves more than we play against anyone else. So, we're trying to find those, like today, a lot of matchups with Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe. What's going to happen with that over time? Guys are just going to get each other better. There's 2 5-star high-caliber athletes that need the work. They need the daily competition. They need the competitive excellence that occurs over time. You build your foundation through reps, through going through hard things, through the ups and the downs, and continuing to push forward. So that is happening right now. So we're continuing to try to recruit at a high level, bring in high-caliber athletes. Obviously, there's tons of athletes all over the building. And then if you can get those reps and those high-caliber reps against really quality guys, you're going to get yourself game ready and prepared to play on game day.
Is there a target date for when you want to have specific positions on the field, and does that get delayed when you have maybe younger players in the unit?
Sure, I think not to give it. There's soft lines and then there's hard lines. Obviously, we'll go into the game week as we get closer and closer towards the end of training camp with a more settled depth chart. Who's field, who's boundary, who's one, who twos. You look at a game. The reality of it is that we're going to continue to build quality depth and reps throughout the season. We're hoping to have really a long year and a long season, and really the depth of what we're going to really have to do down the line, it's got to get developed now. It's got to get developed throughout the season. You got to continue to get guys game ready. Sometimes you look at maybe a guy that maybe started off as a 5th guy or a 6th guy. You don't know when that guy may be called upon in the game in October, November, December to make a play or go in for a series or play the entire game. So we're just getting guys game ready. They're nameless and faceless, man. We're just trying to get the room ready. But as we get into game week and as we get closer to that opener, obviously it's going to be a little bit more settled. We anticipate throughout the season playing multiple guys. When you look at the corner room is a lot like the O-line room. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have a rotation going throughout the season, and we're going to continue to build the depth throughout the year.
Can you talk a little bit about the outside freshman corners? What about Red Morgan, and how much does his versatility help the defense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're seeing it with Red right now. Got his hand on a couple balls today. Just time on task, reps. I've seen this before. I'm comfortable. You're trying to lower the stress and the anxiety of young players. You're not trying to overwhelm them, but you got to hold them to the standard, because if they're out there, you got to get the job done. So how do we bring them along the right way, make our information clean, concise, and digestible, but also, push the envelope with them, and then let's really see what they can do. So I think you're seeing that happen with Red. He's touching the ball some. His technique is tightening up and getting a little bit cleaner, and we just look to continue to develop the guys throughout the year.
Xavier obviously put himself in a good position to take a lot of reps at A-Day. How has he done? What have you seen from him putting the work in, and what attributes put him in a position as a freshman where you think he can?
Yeah, when you look at Xavier and his process, he's a process guy. He is a 9 o'clock last night, we get our team meeting, it's over with. I turn the corner, he's in my office. He's got a really high football character. He eats it up. He wants to get better. It's important to him. He has a really high respect for the game of football, and you protect the things that you respect. You know, you put the work in for the things that you respect. So his process and approach to the game is really good, and I think that's why you see him over and over. He's just in good position. He's where he needs to be. His eyes are in the right place. He knows how to win the pre-snap. He gets aligned correctly. He eliminates the clutter before the snap. He burns his eyes on the right. He's got really good movements, and he's in the right position to make plays. So I think that's through his process. He does have natural talent, but what I love about him is his attitude and his effort in his process.
He's a year older, right? Or a little bit older than most freshmen.
I think probably some months older. You still see, you know, what I love, like he came out, I think he was 180 when he came in. He's going into training camp now, he's about 190. He's putting in the work still. He does have a couple months on some of the guys, but he's still a true freshman in the SEC, and I like his process. He's putting in the work the right way, and it's showing off for him.
For Deshaun Jones coming in, what has he brought to the table as a transfer?
Oh man, he's done a great job. His transition, I think this is using the portal in the right way. When we'll get through spring and obviously all the turnover, all the transition, and we knew we were going to have to bring in one or two more bodies to continue to push for a starting role and push for depth and all the things you push for to make. What are you trying to do with your roster? You're on a 365-day approach to get better. How do we continue to raise the floor? How do we continue to raise the ceiling? How do we bring in high-caliber guys? And we can bring in a starter, a Power 4 starter, and get him with our group and an older guy that's been through it. He's had college production. He's played in big-time games, and I love what he's provided. He's a low-ego guy. He's really humble, but he's got an inner confidence about himself, and he executes on the field, and he's really been a great addition to the room.
You know, talking to a lot of the players throughout the offseason, they talk about authentic relationships that you guys are building. Can you talk about the conscious effort that you guys are pouring into that?
I love my players. I don't know any other way to put it. I love the game. I love everything about the game of football, what football's done for me in my own personal life. I see myself as a steward of the game, trying to give back. Obviously, I have a job to do here. I take that to the utmost seriousness, and I know the responsibilities that I have. But my number one responsibility is to make sure that we raise productive and great men and for society, great fathers, great husbands. I have the guys over. I don't know if you guys see, we cook for them. You know, they love coming over. We cook a little something. They got the game going, and I have 3 little kids, you know, so just kind of blending that family and just getting those guys around my family. It's been a phenomenal off season so far, and we just got to continue to put in work, stack days, and love coaching the group, man.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Chris.
Thanks.